What's up guys, it's Johnny Candido of Candido Training HQ, and today I'm going to talk about why some exercises can be dangerous and ineffective. See, every exercise can be described in terms of a strength curve, and basically that's just where the sticking point of the movement is. And something you'll notice is that the most effective movements have a strength curve in which the sticking point is in the middle of the movement. Think about when you're bench pressing, when you bring the bar to your chest, usually you can get it off your chest, but the sticking point's right mid-lift, and then the lockout's easier. And the same with the squat as well. However, some movements have a less than ideal strength curve, where the peak of the resistance is the moment in which you're changing direction. So this can cause two problems. One, it can be harder on your joints because you are changing directions at the most difficult portion of the lift. And two, you can have problems with consistency, because if you just go an inch lower or an inch too high, it can drastically change the difficulty of that exercise. A good example of this is the half squat, where you just squat to 90 degrees. And this causes a lot of problems, and this is why people blame squats for their knee pain, because they're using heavy weights and they're changing directions at an awkward point of the lift. And this is one of the main reasons why deep squats can be so beneficial and much safer on your knees, because you have that natural stretch reflex out of the bottom, and then the sticking point is mid-lift, as I said earlier. And another example of a movement with a less than ideal strength curve is the good morning. Now you might be thinking to yourself, why do powerlifters advocate using good mornings if it is a dangerous or ineffective exercise according to what I'm saying? Well, that gets to my last point of this video, and that is that there's a way to make these movements effective and safe. The simple solution is to separate the concentric and eccentric portions of the lift. So what you'll see is when powerlifters do good mornings, typically they have a setup where they have chains where they can rest the weight, reset themselves so they don't have to change directions with that heavy weight. They reset themselves, then explosively perform the lift, so that now it's a much easier transition and it's safer on your joints. This also solves the problem with consistency. Now you have a very well-defined range of motion, and you won't have problems with going an inch too deep or an inch too high, where it can drastically affect the effectiveness of the movement. And this is why when you see powerlifters train their lockout on the bench press, they don't just bring the weight down and then change directions midway through the lift. What they do is they have a board that they put on their chest so they can bring the weight down, pause it on the board, and then explode on the way up. This is also why I recommend the stiff-legged deadlift for those who don't have the proper equipment to perform heavy good mornings. Overall, what you'll see is if people don't separate the concentric and eccentric portions of the lift, is that they'll just end up training, for example, good mornings with very light weights. And this is why I say that the exercises can either be potentially dangerous or just ineffective. Because if you aren't training for progressive overload, then the exercise itself just really isn't going to do much for you. So that's why it's important that you put yourself in a position in which you can safely increase the weight from week to week and have a consistent range of motion. So that's it guys, I hope this video was helpful. Make sure to like the video, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching guys. Peace.
In high school I was voted the most Ted DiBiaseist, also the most slept on cause my Ted DiBiase-ness, and Inglorious Bastard, and you looking like a Nazi bitch.